Okay, so we've come back to our monitor that successfully CAL'd. We've got about 20 seconds left before it goes into standby mode. Like I said in the earlier video, we can connect it to a patient directly after we've gone through this part of it, or we can let it sit in this standby mode for up to 24 hours and even longer if we choose to change the bag and continue to let it sit on standby. What you don't want to do is connect it to the patient before it's ready. So on this screen it's saying monitor on standby. To start, press star, and the other flash is do not attach until prompted. So at the bedside or in your room away from the bedside, whichever you choose, you can go ahead and start going through these prompts. We're going to start this process by hitting the star key. First thing it says is clear patient data, so that's going to clear whatever info was in the monitor before. We'll go ahead and change this answer to yes. Hit the star key. Enter your patient ID. Most of the time this is in medical records numbers, so that's what we're going to do here. We're just going to hit yes, and you want to scroll either up or down for numbers or letters. So we're going to scroll up till we get the numbers we want. And I'm just hitting the star every time I get the number I want to acknowledge it. When I've got all the numbers I need, I'll keep hitting the star key till it gets to the end. It asks if the patient ID is okay, and we're going to choose yes. If we choose no, it'll let you correct a mistake that you might have made. Catheter size. There's a few different options here. We've got PAL with extension set, which is peripheral art line with extension set, radial art line, same thing. The other options are 2.8 French UAC. Sometimes a 2.5 French is chosen. This is the same either way. 3.5 French is what I commonly see. 5.0. And then we've got a PAL without extension set. All these different settings determine how much flush is given back to the patient. So all the UACs are half a cc of flush given back to the patient when it clears the line after a sample, and the PAL with extension set is 0.9 cc's of flush that's given back to the patient because it needs to clear just a little bit more than a UAC. So we're just going to choose 3.5 French UAC. We've got pediatric mode and neonatal mode. So choose that according to whether you're in the NICU or the PICU. And then it says attach sensor to patient and press the star. So we're going to go over here to our patient, which is already set up. And in the other video we went through the priming of the extension set here. But if you remember, we had 5 packages in the sensor kit. So package number 4 is the extension set. And you can set this up on the patient anytime before the calibration of the monitor. It's provided sterile. We've got our transducer end and our patient end. And then we've got our sensor connection and our collection bag connection. So that's how it comes out of the package. Now while it's on the patient, we've got this connected directly to the UAC. Trace this back, you've got stopcock where you can take additional labs from. And then we've got our dial. It's eventually going to go into the sensor holder. You've got your transducer, and we trace that back to our transducer, which is running our fluids that we've always run. Normal, half normal, saline, however your hospital does it. So we're going to disconnect from the Wally bag. And bring the sensor housing down to the bed. We'll prop the sensor holder up like this. What I like to do is take the curly Q tubing and put it over the post. And then you've got two more connections that aren't primed or anything, but the monitor is going to do that. You've got the sensor in the bag, so we'll go ahead and connect the sensor. Each of these are labeled, by the way. We'll go ahead and pop this into the holder, and it's going to go into the 12 o'clock position. Should fit right in there, and you should hear a click once you get it secure. Now we've got one more connection, and that's the collection bag. This is where it's going to collect all that fluid that we don't want going to the patient when it's going through its recalibration and priming while it's connected to the patient. So it looks like this. And what we usually do is just hang that on the IV stand. Make our final connection. And it should be ready to go. So just to review, we were in the standby mode, we went through the prompts, we're ready to attach the sensor to the patient. We've attached it now. Our arterial wave should be still just like it was or better. Anytime you get a dampened waveform, it's not because you've added this extension set, it's because you've got air somewhere in the transducer or somewhere in the line, so that's what you need to check. We've attached everything, so we'll hit the star key. And you may or may not see this, it purges to the bag, to this collection bag, if you've let it sit for a while. It could go directly into ready to sample mode. And here it has. So now the monitor is ready to sample, and we'll go over that in the next video.